Today we're going to be taking a look at a Hoosier Bullets 200 grain 45 ACP bullet, and that's coming up next year on Jesse B Outdoors Reloading. Welcome back everybody, and don't forget to like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell, leave a comment down below if you like videos like this. First off, I'd like to thank Hoosier Bullets for sending these bullets out to the channel. They sent them out to the channel for us to check them out and test them out and see how we like them. So what we're going to do in this video is we're going to randomly pick some of these out. We're going to get the weight on them, we're going to check the sizes on them, and then what we're going to do is we're going to load 50 rounds up and see how they reload in this video. Now, in another video on my main channel, we are going to shoot them over there and see how they shoot. So make sure you're subscribed to both of my channels. So let's go ahead and come over to the table here and start checking these out. Alright, you can see here we got a big old bag of these. We got 500 rounds of these to play around with. So there will be more videos in the future coming up with these bullets. Now what these are a 200 grain semi-wad cutter. And you can see they are Hi-Tek coated. So what we're going to do is we're just going to randomly pick out 5 of these. And you can see right there we're zeroed out. And these are supposed to be 452. And I just want to check and see what the size is on them. And right there you can see 452. Check this one here. Once again, 452. 452, dead on. Trying to get the lighting here a lot better. Then grab another one here. These things are dead on at 452. You gotta love it. One more here. And bam, right at 452. See if we can get that to focus in a little bit better on there. But 452, these are all dead on. Now I'm going to leave these over here. And we're going to pick 5 more out of here and we're going to weigh them. Now you can see our scale here and we got it zeroed out, and we are just going to pick another random 5. I got the 5 that we checked the size on over there. So right there we got 200.1. Got 199. Let's dig in here and grab one on the bottom. 199.2. Take another random one from over here. 199. And we got one more left here. And we got 199.8. So these things are pretty consistent, not only on the weight, but on the size. That's real nice. Now, let's go over to the Dillon 550 and load some of these up. Now, like we do in every video, let's go over the components. First thing we got here is we're going to be using Hodgdon CFE power pistol in this. Now we are using 7.8 grains of this. This really isn't published load data. This is me going on a guesstimate. So do not follow my load data. What we're going to do is, this is a test round. I have never reloaded 200 grain bullets before, so this is like probably about a mid-charge we're testing out, and we're going to be firing these in my Smith & Wesson M&P 2.0 45. So definitely do not use my load data. Go by the warning at the beginning. Now we are using small pistol primer brass, so we're going to be using Servicio primers that we picked up at Republic Ammunition. Then of course, for the brass, we got small pistol primer, and this is mixed between Federal and Blazer, and it's all range pickup. And then, of course, for the bullet, we've got the star of the show here, the Hoosier Bullets 200 grain Hi-Tek coated semi-wad cutter. So now let's get loading. Now we're going to do our normal. The first round, we're going to go every single stage here, just in case there's anybody new and they want to know how this press works. I like doing that for the new reloaders. So the first thing we're going to do is put a piece of brass in station 1. We're going to pull it back, and that is going to size and deprime the brass. And then we're going to come down here, push the handle forward, and that will insert a brand new primer in there. So that brand new primer is nice and flush. So now what we're going to do is we're going to move over to the powder through expanding die. What I'm going to do real quick is I'm going to take this piece of brass out, and I actually got my locating pin stuck over here on the side. There we go. And I'm going to zero it out on my scale and make sure we're close here. I checked it before we started videoing, but I want to double check it because it took me a minute to get set up. And a lot of times when these powder measures settle, they're a little bit off, but we are still dead on at 7.8 grains. So we're all good on that. So we'll put that locator pin back in. Now we're going to go over to the bullet seating and crimping die. I've only got it set up to seat the bullet. So we'll pull that up. We're going to seat the bullet, and then we're going to go over to the factory crimp die over here, and we're going to crimp it. And there is our first completed round of our 45 ACP with the Hoosier 200 grain bullet. Doesn't that look good? Now I have the barrel right here of my Smith & Wesson M&P 2.0. We're going to plunk test it. Dropped in there. Dropped right out. What we're going to do is put it in and see if it spins. Not touching the rifling, so we should be all good on this. It should function fine. So now what we're going to do is we're going to load this up and go full progressive mode. We are going to load up 50 rounds on this. So let's go ahead and get started. That's going to take a little while. So like I said, we're going to follow this one all the way around in full progressive. We just deprimed it and sized it. Now it moved over to expanding and powder, and we got to put another piece of brass in. Seat our primer. Now that first one's going back over to the bullet seating. We got to put another piece of brass in here. Get it to slide in, and now this time we got to put a bullet in. Prime it, and now once we get this piece of brass in, we are in full progressive mode here. And now every time we pull the handle, we are going to get a bullet coming out, and you gotta love that sound. So what we're going to do is we're going to crank some out here. Now a lot of people probably won't believe that I've been reloading now for probably 3-4 years, and I have always reloaded 230 grain for 45 ACP. Don't know why. That's what I always bought. And then when I started casting, that's the mold I bought. And I've never tried out a 200 grain. I've had some people send me some, but I haven't loaded them yet. So this is going to be our first test in these. Knock these out. We're going to do 50 rounds here. We will do different camera angles too, so you guys get a different view of everything, if I can get my fingers to work here. So these are definitely going to be something new for me to check out. Pretty impressed with the numbers on them. Everything was good dimension wise at 452. Then weight wise, right in there again, weight wise. So no complaints on that so far. Reloading seemed to be going in just fine, just like a bullet should be. So now what I'm going to do is we're probably just going to go quiet here, concentrate on knocking some of these out, and let you guys enjoy the sounds of the press. Primer felt like it didn't get deprimed, and it didn't. Seems like every time I want to go to quietness so you guys can hear the press, something happens. That one did not deprime. So we're going to take that locator pin back out, and we're going to dump the powder in that. Go back up, make sure it deprimes this time. Felt like the primer went in. It did, so now we will go into quiet mode here for a little bit so you guys can just hear the press run. Alright, to me there's nothing better than the sound of the press when it's kicking out stuff. So I always like to say I'm giving it a moment of silence so we can crank it out here. So let me know down in the comments what's your guys' favorite 45 to shoot. I've got the Smith & Wesson M&P 2.0, but I also have my Ruger SR 1911. And I would definitely say between the two, I like shooting my 1911 better. But leave a comment down below. What do you like shooting 45 ACP out of? Also, if you do, what grain bullet? And what kind of bullet do you like using? Do you use these Hoosier bullets? What was your experience with them? Did you like them? This is my first time trying out any bullets from them. So I'm excited, and you saw we have a bunch of them to play around with, and that's going to be fun doing all these tests with it, because not only am I going to do them in 45 ACP, we're also going to try these out in 45 Colt, because my Cimarron Pistolier, my favorite bullet to shoot in that is a 200 grain. So look for that video coming up. In the future, we will load these up in 45 Colt also. Now, I know you're going to say, Jesse, those are semi-automatic rounds. That's alright. We'll get them to work in 45 Colt. I got something up my sleeve to show you guys on that, to do it the right way. Alright. Now, let's go ahead and change the camera angle up. Alright, now we got this camera angle switched up a little bit better so you guys don't see my arm swinging in front of it all the time. We'll do a few this way, and then we'll change it up again a little bit later like we always do on the channel. I just like people seeing different ways of this press working. That's one of the joys about this. I think I got another one here. Looks like what we did is we're not getting these to deprime all the time, so as always I keep an adjustable wrench over here. You guys are going to get a little bonus here, and what we're going to do is we are going to fix this real quick, and I'm going to cut back and then I'll come right back so you guys don't have to see this. Alright, I lowered the decapping pin down a little bit more, and then I took the powder out of the station number 2, so we are ready to hopefully rock and roll again. Alright, felt like a primer seated that time. Yes, it did. You can see right there. Feels good, nice and flush. Every once in a while I've had that happen, and I think it's because this is the first time I'm reloading on this press, because if you guys follow the channel, I just got this press. It's not even a month old, and this is the first time I'm reloading 45 ACP. So I have to make a little bit of adjustments on my dies. No biggie. It's something that everybody has to go through. But that's when you learn the feel of a press. When you can tell something ain't right, that's when you need to stop and figure out what is going on and what's wrong. Because this thing actually primes very smoothly. So if there's an issue, either you got a military crimp or the primer didn't come out, something's up, because I have had absolutely no issues after the first time using this press. I had something up the first time I used it with the priming system, but after that first video, everything has been fine and running smoothly with it. I had a little hiccup with it where I think my son was playing around with my primer system and I didn't know it, and I don't think my tubes were in all the way, and I'm pretty sure that's where it was messing up. But besides that, after that video, this thing has been on cruise control as long as I do my job right. And that's the big issue, as long as I do my job right. I'm still getting used to this, but I'm getting the hang of it. If you guys follow the channel, you know I've got a couple different presses and wanted to start drinking the blue Kool-Aid. So I picked this Dillon up, Saved up my money, worked hard, finally got it. And now that all the bugs are worked out of it, I am really enjoying this press. Getting more comfortable running it. Seems like it does not take very long to crank out the rounds on this, even though I'm used to a lead loadmaster. We're at auto index. This thing, once you get used to it and get cranking out, it is nice. Looks like we're about out of primers here. The alarm should be going off any time now, which means we about have 50 rounds made up already. And it is going nice and quick. Bullets are seating real good. We'll pull that out here, so we know we only got a few left. Anytime you leave the press and come back, always make sure you go forward, just so you know you seated a primer. If you don't, you'll have a huge mess with powder everywhere, and that is no fun at all. So we probably got maybe 3 primers left here. Usually what I do when I get down to the end, I go a little bit slower and I look down in that primer cup to make sure I'm getting a primer. That way I'm not loading a bunch of rounds with no primers and then spilling powder everywhere. Alright, got one in there. Alright, let's see if we get one in this one. Yep, we do. Alright. Very, very nice. And it looks like that is it. So I am going to pull this piece of brass out. No sense of sending it around if it ain't going to be primed. Then we'll lift this up here. Kick that one out. Seat the bullet. Ooh, we got a little lock up here. There we go. Had the primer up through the hole. And there we go with our last round. And as you guys could see, that went very nicely. And now we got our 50 rounds here to shoot. Let's go back up on top and finish this video up. So everything went fine loading these up here. I'd like to thank Hoosier Bullets for sending these out again. Like I said, they sent 500 of these out, so we're going to be doing a bunch of testing on them. So what we're going to do is we're going to reload them on this channel, and then down in the description below, I'll have a link to my main channel, and we're going to shoot them over there and see how they shoot. Can't wait to try that out, but there you go. That's what our 45 ACP 200gr Hi-Tek bullet looks like from them. Very, very nice. So as always, don't forget to check the links out down below. Down there I have links to Axel Hearing Protection, Gators Eyewear, and a bunch of other companies I like dealing with. Some of them got discount codes to save you guys money. Others are affiliate accounts that do help out the channel. So don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell. Leave a comment down below. We are One Nation Under God, and I'll see you all on the next one.